If you are someone who struggles to wake up and get going first thing in the morning, this is the perfect class for you. We'll start with some slow, gentle movements, eventually building up to some sun salutations to really get you energized and ready for your day. You won't need any props per se for this practice, but if you do have yoga props to hand, it's always a good idea to have them nearby. And when you're ready to begin, join me in constructive resting pose, lying down on your back. Take your feet nice and wide, knees can point up towards the ceiling or gently drop in to touch. And I invite you to take a mudra in this position. It's called the Mushti Mudra. It's really simple. You're just making it a fist with the hands, but you're tucking your thumb inside the palm. So your fingers are wrapping around the thumb. Just bringing your awareness now to the feeling of this mudra. Finding a sense of containment, security, and grounding. It's known as being a particularly grounding mudra. Just take a couple deep breaths in and out of your nose. Know that it's okay to struggle a little bit in the mornings. It's completely normal, but you've already made the effort to get onto your mat, and that's amazing. So you can be proud of yourself for doing that. You can let go of that mudra now and begin to heel toe the feet in together and hug the knees in towards your chest. I've got some bunny kisses over here from Bruce. It's always nice to have a furry friend to greet you in the morning. Can help wake you up, especially if they want feeding. All right, just take a couple gentle rocks side to side. And then place your feet back down onto your mat. And from here, crossing your right ankle over top of the left knee, flex into the right foot. And we'll take ankle to knee pose. So keeping the left foot grounded or lifting the legs up into the chest. Coming back to your breath. Slow and steady. If it feels good, find a little bit of movement side to side. And then release your left foot down. Hug your right knee back in towards your chest. You can keep the left foot grounded or extend the leg out long. And just find a little movement side to side with that right knee. And now coming into half happy baby, so catching hold of the outside edge of your foot, wrapping the peace fingers around the big toe, holding onto your ankle just wherever is available. Gently guiding your knee in the direction of your outer right shoulder. Doesn't need to get anywhere near there. And maybe a little bit of movement here feels good. Hug that right knee back in towards your chest, this time extending the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can point the toes, flex the foot a couple times. Waking up that ankle joint. Might feel quite stiff first thing in the morning. That's perfectly okay. Keep quite a deep bend in the knee here. And then bend the knee into the chest once more. Lower the right foot down, and we'll find those movements on the second side. So crossing left ankle over top of your right knee. Coming into your reclined pigeon, ankle to knee pose. A little bit of movement side to side if that feels good for you. Lower right foot down, hug left knee in towards your chest, maybe extending the right leg out long. And just finding a little movement side to side with that left knee. And come into your half happy baby. Rebend the knee in towards your chest, and then extend it up towards the ceiling, point and flex your foot. Waking up the back of your leg, your hamstring. Maybe you notice immediately one is a little bit tighter than the other. And then take both knees back in towards your chest. And we'll rock and roll up and down the spine a few times. And eventually rocking all the way up to sit. So coming into a comfortable seated position on your mat, maybe you elevate your hips sitting up on a prop if you have one to hand. Otherwise, sitting up with a nice tall spine. Catch hold of your shins or your ankles and we'll find spinal flex here. So you want to think seated cat-cow, but we'll try and keep the chin more or less parallel with the ground. So you inhale to lift your spine forward and exhale, rounding back. Inhale, so we're kind of rocking forward and back on the sitting bones here. Eyes can be closed. Just keep rocking forward and back. And we'll add on from here, bringing your hands to your shoulders as you rock forward, take your elbows back, and then rocking back, elbows come together. So getting the upper body a little bit more involved here. Moving in time with your breath. Adding on a little bit more, let's cactus the arms. Again, elbows wide as you lift your chest, and then bring your elbows to touch as you round and rock back. Just taking a few more rounds. All right, now reach your arms out wide and just stretch a little side to side, rocking. Maybe you yawn. Sufi grind from here, palms face down on your knees. Begin to make big circles with the torso. Inhale as you come forward and exhale as you round back. Option to keep your eyes closed throughout this practice. And just reverse your circles now. As though you were a giant ladle stirring the contents of the pelvic bowl. All right, begin to make your spirals a little bit smaller, eventually coming to sit back up to center. Let's inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, big side bend over to the right. Can you rotate your chest up towards the ceiling? Then switching sides. Back to center, come onto your hands and knees. Finding thread the needle from here. Reach your right arm up, open your chest to the side of the room, and then thread right arm underneath left, lower down onto your right shoulder, right side of your head. Left fingertips can extend forward, maybe tucking the left toes, sliding the left leg back. Maybe if you really want, you can hover that left leg up. If you have the leg lifted, lower it down now. And returning your left hand underneath the face, pressing into the left hand as you reach your right arm back up towards the ceiling. And then lower it down, other side. Big breath in, left arm reaches up. And then slide it underneath the right. Grounding down onto the left shoulder, left side of your head. Right arm reaches forward. Maybe we tuck the right toes, extend that right leg. Maybe hover that right leg off the floor. And then returning. Take a deep breath in as you reach that left arm back up to the ceiling. And then lower it down. Coming back to your hands and knees, from here, begin to make some figure 8 movements with the shoulders. Doesn't need to be perfect figure 8s. And feel free to get a little bit more embodied with this movement, taking any movement that feels good here. Maybe you bend down into the elbows, stretching into awkward to reach places. And we'll come into puppy pose from here, so you might need to shuffle a little bit back. And now trying to keep your hips stacked over the knees, walk your hands forward a lot, and begin to sink your chest down towards the mat, forehead or chin rests down. How wide you want to have your arms is going to completely depend on the anatomy of your shoulder. So I do always encourage my students to have a bit of an explore different arm widths until you find what suits you. After a couple of breaths, notice if you're able to sink the chest down just a little bit more. And finding child's pose from here, maybe you're able to sink all the way back without having to come all the way out of puppy pose. As you breathe in here, feel your low back expand as you fill with breath. And exhale to soften. Walk your hands back up towards your knees as you come to sit up on the knees. Interlace your hands behind your back, squeezing shoulder blades together, lift up your chest, big stretch here. And now keeping the hands interlaced, bring your clasped hands over to your left waist. And then from here, right ear tips down towards the right shoulder. Release that, take your hands over to the other side. Left ear dips down towards left shoulder. This might be where you notice you have slept funny and the neck feels a little bit crooked. Like you have a crooked neck, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe one side feels a little bit more tense compared to the other. And let's release that and make your way into a downward facing dog, spreading your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, and find any movement that feels good here. Knees can stay nice and bent. Really press down through your knuckles, lengthening through your spine. Find a place of stillness. It doesn't matter if your heels are hovering up away from the mat and knees are still bent. And then from here, walk your hands back towards your feet and we'll find a ragdoll at the very back of the mat. Again, your knees can be super duper bent here, draping your belly over your thighs. Maybe you catch hold of opposite elbows and sway a little bit side to side. And we'll take a little twist from here. Plant your right fingertips down to the mat in front of your face. Bend deeply into the right knee, straighten through the left leg. Take your left hand to your left hip and try your best to keep your hips as level as possible as you begin to twist your upper back to the left, looking up, and maybe then reaching your left arm up towards the ceiling. Unwind and switch sides. So bending into the left leg, right hand to right hip. Let's try and keep the hips as level as possible. They will want to come for the twist. Twisting over to the right with the upper back, right arm lifts. And now release, return back to your ragdoll, bend down through the knees, ground through your feet as you begin to slowly roll up to stand, vertebra by vertebra. Head is the last thing to rise. We meet in a Tadasana mountain pose, roll the shoulders back. Take a deep breath in as you reach your arms up above your head. Left hand grabs the right wrist, take a big side bend over to the left. Return to center, switch your grip and side bend over to the right. Come back through center. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your chest. Inhale, arms up, tall mountain. And exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Plant your hands down onto the mat and crawl your hands forward into a plank pose. Hold in plank just for a moment. And then lower your knees down, untuck your toes, shift your hips forward, bend through the elbows, lever all the way onto your belly. From here, come up onto your fingertips and slide your hands out a little bit wider than your mat, elbows lift. On a breath in, wave your spine up into a cobra on your fingertips. And exhale, wave the spine back down. Inhale again, waving up. Head is the last thing to rise. And then exhale, wave it back down. Once more, adding on here, coming up into your cobra. This time, right shoulder dips down towards the center of your mat, look left. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, left shoulder dips, look over your right shoulder. And we'll take one more round each side. So inhale to lift up. Exhale to dip. Inhale up. And exhale dip. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, wave all the way back down. Return your hands underneath your shoulders. Press all the way back into a child's pose. Maybe taking your knees a little bit wider this time. And sink back down. All right, no need to rush, but when you're ready to move, we'll all meet in a downward facing dog. And from this down dog, this time walking feet up towards the hands. Forward fold at the top of your mat. On your next breath in, lift up halfway, hands to shins or fingertips on the mat in front of you. And exhale, refold, bending down. Inhale, sweep your arms down and up as you lift up to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Well, let's take a couple of breaths in this Tadasana pose before we get into our sun salutations. Placing both hands over top of your heart space, closing down your eyes. Bring awareness to your feet. Begin to shift the weight forward and back, left and right. And then finding that exact center point where you are perfectly balanced. 2 deep cleansing breaths from here, inhaling through the nose and then sighing out the mouth. So just exhale completely to begin. Deep breath in through your nose. And sigh it out. One more. Lower your hands back down. Inhale, reach your arms up above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower your knees and lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Two more deep breaths. Lifting your hips up, pressing through your knuckles. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. And exhale, lower your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping back into plank. Lower your knees or keep them lifted. Lower to belly or shift forward, bend at the elbows, chaturanga, your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. And at the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step all the way up to the top of the mat, and then inhale here, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Now let's take one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step on back to plank. Maybe keeping your knees lifted for chaturanga or lower to belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take another cleansing breath in this down dog. Deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out. Nice, lower your knees. Sink your hips back toward your heels, child's pose. Perhaps you stack your hands as a pillow for your forehead here. And when you're ready, slowly sit on up and come into a comfortable seat at the center of your mat. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, big breath in, circle your arms up, palms touch. And exhale, hands through prayer. I hope you're feeling more awake after this class. I hope you have an amazing day. Please give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps to support my channel. Take care of yourself and I'll see you very soon.